It is the beginning of February, and the warm sun is spilling over the mountains of Spain, casting golden light on the river and trees. The air is still crisp, but there is a certain kind of softness to it, like the quiet promise of change. The days are getting longer ever so slightly, and the first pollinators are humming through the air, drawn to the earliest blossoms. If you're new here, hi, I'm Jessica, and I live in my wooden campervan Bilbo with my partner Rissy and our adventure puppy Hearty. A year ago we bought a second-hand van, converted it using reclaimed wood and natural materials, and left everything behind for a simple life of freedom. Since then we've been travelling around Europe in the slow lane to reconnect with nature and grow roots in the wild. This is a time of transition, a time to let go of the weight of winter and make space for fresh starts, a turning point for clearing out the old and welcoming the new. It feels like spring is slowly but surely arriving. Good morning, friends. We are parked by this gorgeous teal-colored lake here in Valencia, not the city, but the province. And there's barely any internet reception, so we've just been taking things nice and slow. I'm recording this vlog on the 1st of February, which means that it's Imbolc, the pagan festival which marks the beginning of spring. So since we've been living on the road, we've been making a bit more of an effort to observe these ancient traditions because they really help us connect more to the land around us and connect with nature. So traditionally, Imbolc would be a celebration of the upcoming agricultural season, and people would be preparing for the sowing of seeds, which obviously we can't really do living on the road, but we still want to observe some of those ancient traditions, and we're going to take you along today and show you what that looks like when living a nomadic lifestyle. Traditionally, Imbolc was a time for cleansing and visiting holy water, a spring or a well. And here in Spain, the air is getting just about warm enough to start wild swimming again. For us, there is something very symbolic about stepping into the cold water, like a way to mentally wash off anything that we don't want to take into spring with us. It's a ritual of release and a fresh start. In the old times, families would eat simple foods which reflect themes of renewal. Fresh produce would have been scarce, so meals would often centre around things that sustained people through the winter, while symbolising the abundance that was soon to come. Some of the foods that would feature most heavily were grains, dairy products, jams, and preserved meats. So, because we're both plant-based, we've made a few modifications to this tradition, and we found some vegan cheese and vegan chorizo in the supermarket, which we're having with bread and jam. So Rissy has gone to the lake to fetch some water and refill our water tank, which is probably going to take a little bit of time because we've got a big 100-litre water tank under the van, which normally lasts us about a week. So I'm going to use this opportunity to do a spring clean, which is a very traditional thing to do at this time of the year, and Bilbo really needs it. But the good thing is that it only takes about an hour or two to deep clean the entire van. The tradition of spring cleaning is closely linked to Imbolc's themes of purification and renewal. In the past, people would have been cooped up indoors since the winter solstice, and by February, their homes would be getting rather smelly. So the 1st of February was a time for cleaning. This ritual was also a symbolic way to sweep out the stagnation of winter and welcome the new life of spring. And although most of us might be doing a spring clean every year, having these traditions in mind makes it feel a lot more meaningful and mindful. I actually did a bit of a declutter earlier this week, which we try and do a few times a year in the van, and now I'm just doing a bit of dusting, tidying and refilling of cleaning products, which luckily doesn't take very long when you live in a tiny space. A few of these jars are empty, so I'm going to rinse them. So we made our first friend on the road at this place, which is a little bit ridiculous considering we've been travelling full-time for about a year now. But because we always stay in really remote places, there's usually no other people whatsoever. And we've also found it a bit tricky to find people our age. A lot of the people we see on our travels are retired, and there's just not many people in their 20s or 30s. So yeah, at this place there's a girl parked next to us who's also got a rescue dog, and him and Heidi have been playing a lot and we've all been hanging out, and it's just so nice to find people with similar interests. So she's a jewellery maker and she made this tree of life. I don't know if you can see it, but it's super lovely. I'm actually going to go on a hike now with my new friend. We found a trail here which leads up a mountain. You can't really call it a mountain, it's more like a big hill. But yeah, it looks like there might be some really beautiful views up there, so we're going to go and investigate. Imbolc was traditionally steeped in weather lore. It was believed that if the day was bright and sunny, the Cailleach, who was a powerful hag in Gaelic tradition, was gathering firewood, meaning that winter would last longer. On the other hand, a stormy and overcast day meant that Cailleach was asleep and spring was on its way. So far today is a very sunny day, but we won't let that discourage us, and who knows, our luck might always change later in the day. While we're walking up this mountain, I kept thinking of a beautiful seasonal poem that I read the other day, and it goes like this. Under the frozen earth, seeds stir in their sleep, dreaming of the sun's warm breath upon the fields. The snowdrops bow, whispering the promise, light will come and we will bloom again. It's nearly lunchtime, so I'm going to gather some gorse flowers and rosemary, which are both growing in abundance here. very sunny right now, but it does look like there's a storm about to roll in later today. I think I'm hearing some distant thunder, so we may yet have our lucky bad weather. Okay, I think that's enough. Even if it's abundant, we don't want to take more than we need.
We are making a simple hearty stew with lots of yummy cheap vegetables and some herbs that Jessica has foraged on her little outing today. It's mostly root vegetables, which is what people would mostly have eaten at this time of year because it's pretty much all that's available.
In Celtic countries, at least.
At least in Celtic country. I mean, they're still growing everything here, aren't they? So although this is quite a traditional meal, the constituents of it have changed somewhat over time, at least within the sort of area of northwestern Europe that I'm from. Potatoes didn't come to Europe until the sort of discovery of the Americas. It was kind of around the 1700s that they started to pick up popularity. So before that there would have been no potatoes. In Western Europe it was mostly wheat and various other kinds of grain that people got as their carbs. Most of the vegetables are a lot larger than they used to be, but carrots in particular are way sweeter and way more orange. The Dutch decided that they wanted to make carrots orange because it's the colour of their regency.
I had no idea.
So carrots, natural carrots, are not bright orange. That's the Dutch's doing.
We just finished lunch and looks like the storm has finally arrived. Wow. Feels very powerful, like something very powerful and mighty is about to happen. The last storm this winter to rein in the spring. Ooh, it's giving me goosebumps. Might just be the cold, to be honest. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have the most beautiful start to February. If you enjoyed this video, leave it a like and share your favourite spring rituals in the comments. And if you haven't yet, do subscribe for more van life adventures, how we reconnect with nature while living on the road, and the folklore we encounter on our travels. Until then, have a lovely week ahead, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.